Hello everybody, welcome again. Today we're going to be talking about a movie called Marvel's Eternals. So let's get into it. So Marvel's Eternals is about a special set of beings called Eternals, and their purpose is to protect worlds. They're given this assignment by this special set of beings called celestial beings, and these beings, they are created to create more worlds and more galaxies. So that's what these celestial beings do. They create these galaxies, and so they made these Eternals to be able to go and protect each of these worlds that they created, and this is the assignment that they've given them. So each world has its own set of Eternals, and Earth also has its own. There are 10 of them. There is Ajax the leader, Icarus, Cersei, Sprite, Druig, Makari, Fastos, Kingo, Thina, and Gilgamesh. Yes, I got it. Yes, sorry, I can't tell I memorized it. Anyway, so these Earth Eternals loved their job very much. They took their job seriously and they protected the Earth and they did what they were supposed to do, and they did it right and they did it well, and they loved each other and they were like a family. But as a lot of families do, they tend to fight a lot. Unfortunately, one of their fights led to them breaking up and splitting up, and each of them going their own separate ways, and they did not see each other for another 5 centuries until the 21st century, where they found out that the mission that they were given by these celestial beings was actually a lie, and so they had to band together to save the Earth. So getting into the movie, I didn't really know much about Eternals before I watched the movie. Actually, I didn't know anything about them, but the foundation of the story in general for me was just very typical. It's the typical extraterrestrial being come to save the Earth because Earth is, puny and weak. So there wasn't really much for me. In fact, it didn't really feel like an MCU movie, even though it was canon to the MCU, even though it is actually a Marvel movie, and it was just a little bit disappointing to me because I expected more from it, especially from all the hype that I got. I didn't watch any of the trailers though, but all the hype it was getting made it seem like it was very good. But that being said, it was still very much enjoyable and it's still very legitimate. It has legitimate ties to the MCU. It took place in 2023. That's the movie show 2023. That was just right after the snap when Tony Stark when Tony Stark snapped everybody back into reality. So they are really legitimately part of the MCU, and also the celestial beings that they were talking about, you've been talked about before, like Peter Quill's father. Peter Quill's father is a celestial being. He actually is Eco, the planet eating planet, or the world eating planet, something like that. I think that's his official name. And then also that floating head that everybody goes to for spare parts, that nowhere, that's also a dead celestial being. So those beings are established in the MCU. So they just made us know that they are very much a part of the MCU. It's just that they couldn't be part of the battles. They gave us the reasonable explanation that the part of their assignment was to not interfere directly with human battles and human fights and wars. So they couldn't really do anything with the Avengers. They couldn't really do anything on their own part. They had to stand behind the scenes, and this actually created a lot of pain for one of them, especially Druig. He was the person that was really pained the most by this because he was so empathetic to the human race, and he felt as though they were letting them die when they could have just brought peace to all of them, especially with his powers. And so he was almost like the bad boy of the group, but I could understand where he was coming from. He was just so much compassionate about this work that he was sent to do. It was who he was, and it made him kind of like the outcast or the rebel. But honestly, for me, he was my favorite character. The acting was also very good, but it wasn't like spectacular, especially being that there were a lot of big names to the characters, like Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. You know, you think that there will be a lot more to them, but they didn't really make, for me, they didn't really make the characters stand out. As far as I'm concerned, anybody else could have played those roles and it would have just been as good. At least they didn't suck in the acting, they didn't suck in the characters, but they didn't really make anything stand out for me, because like I said, for me it was just a very generic action movie. I wouldn't have said, if you had told me, if I didn't know anything about Marvel, I wouldn't have known that it was going to be a Marvel movie. So it wasn't really anything out there. That being said, I can't take it away from them that it was still very much enjoyable. If you're an MCU fan, you would like. If you are not an MCU fan, you will like it. But there really wasn't much more to that. Even especially with the world building, I wasn't very interested in what they were talking about. Yes, they had ties to the MCU, and yes, they did build up for so much more in the MCU. But them as themselves, I'm not looking forward to a part 2, because honestly, if I had not watched it, I could have missed it. Like, it wouldn't have made a difference to me if I skipped from, I don't know, Shang-Chi to Spider-Man. It wouldn't have made a difference for me, because they are so far removed from that world that it wouldn't be like I missed anything. But maybe I'm speaking too early. Maybe at the end of the day, they'll actually be able to bring something more to the MCU later. But for now, it was just there. For me, it was even one of the most underrated, like not underrated, but one of the most underwhelming, that's the word, one of the most underwhelming MCU movies that have come out in recent times. Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't exciting. And you know me already. I live for the excitement. Anyway, in general, there's nothing much I can say about it. It was just good. It was enjoyable. It was functionable for what it was, but it wasn't magnificent. If I were to rate it, I would say it was actually very much unremarkable. In fact, I haven't thought about it in a long time. It doesn't pop in my head randomly. So it's you can miss it. Honestly, there wasn't really much to it for me. You can skip ahead and go to the other ones, the other MCU movies and series, and honestly, it would not really make, for me, it did not make a difference. And I don't think it will make a difference in general. Anyway, that's it for me and Marvel's Eternals. Thank you so much for watching. Go check it out. I'll see you guys in the next review. Please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe. And as always, I wish each and every one of you wellness in every single area of your life. Thank you.